Mind your own business. Yeah. So, back to what I'm saying, man, I get into the music shit though, man, you know what I'm saying? We're getting out of jail and shit and realizing like, man, this is what I'm gonna do. So that's why 100% music started in my mind, like, man, I'm gonna hustle with this music shit. Like I used to hustle in the streets. I'm gonna put that type of energy and that type of effort into it, man. I made it up in my mind. Like I said, at 17, 18, prior to 17, 18, I got a chance to get, I went to Texas at 15 and spent the summer in Texas, man, by some of my mom and them church friends, man. Like they was like family, man. To me, man, Miss Marie and her sons Daryl and Tremaine them. And so, I went and spent a summer in Texas, man, and that's why I really, really, you know, got the idea, like, man, I could really do it, because before that I was into, we was just listening to, all of the music that was coming, over the tapes and shit from Texas and shit, like, man, the Scarfaces and the Nips and stuff like that, Gangsta Nip. We was, I ain't even know it had as many people, that was into making their own music, like in Texas, like it was, man. But when I got to Texas, man, and spent that summer out there, me being in the music and stuff, man, I discovered like it was so many niggas that was making, my little idea wanting to make a tape and shit. Them niggas was doing it, man. They had cliques of niggas that was making tapes and they shit was jamming, man. Like, I mean, the whole tape. You know what I'm saying? Screw them. Rest in peace, Michael Watts, bro. Man, the Swisher them, they wasn't even big at the time when I went down there. 80, 50, I was 15 in, I believe, 88, 87, some shit like that, 87, 88, you know what I'm saying? So it was like certain shit, but it was just a variety of niggas, man, that just was jamming. They had their own radio station, sound like, and so you'll hear niggas just, like just whole, like, nigga, just songs with niggas just doing their thing, shit that you could just ride in the car, man, and bump all day long and shit like that, shit you could barbecue to. Nigga ain't talking crazy too much, they just jamming, and you know what I'm saying, like, man, doing their thing, man, and like, man, I seen life in that shit. And so when I came back to New Orleans, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to make, music and shit, but I didn't want, try to emulate what they was doing, the way they was doing it. I wanted to do it my own way, with my own little understanding of how I make music and shit. I got my own little techniques and crafts that I like to do too. And, like, my way of doing that shit, man, is my way of doing it. Like, I've been, it's hard to explain, but it's similar to DJing. It's a little bit of MCing, but it's a lot of producing. But it's that heart, man. It's the vibe of it, man. You know what I'm saying? Niggas call it gangster rap, niggas call it real rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing like, it ain't just music, it ain't just rap, man. You know what I'm saying? It's art. And I'm saying all that to say that I learned, a lot of my format from the way, Houston had their shit together, which on another level is like, like Houston is almost like the god of that sound in a sense, like, Pac and Biggie and them, they was influenced by what this Houston underground shit I'm talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? They heard Screw them. You know, they was hearing, the way we was the South, in particular Houston, and the way they was orchestrating their own fucking music and with their production and shit, man. Like this shit bigger than production, the shit bigger than DJing, the shit bigger than rap. It's just the culture that the DJs create, man. By blending in all these different motherfuckers that understand what the whole thing hitting for. You know what I'm saying? It's lit, slab music. You know what I'm saying? That's like what UGK like personified. UGK personified, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think Pimp had that player sound, that player touch, man, to make them beats that make that make them Vogues and shit. Niggas ride with Vogues and nigga ride with rims and shit. Like nigga, you could feel Pimp, nigga, when you ride like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the nigga spirit with you or some shit, man. And this was before he was dead. I'm talking about how them beats melt in the speakers and shit. You know what I'm saying? And with what he's saying and shit, you could listen to a nigga talking and talking, calling hoes bitches and shit with your lid in the car and don't feel played. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it was sounding and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. That's beyond rap. And so when, they be having niggas who be talking about hip hop and all of that shit, like hip hop is hip hop. Don't get me wrong. But it's niggas that understand what that true music is. And it ain't just rap that's like that, man. There's a lot of that Zydeco shit. Them dudes, man, in the South, they got their own, that they be singing and shit, man. A lot of that shit, I don't even know what it's called, but it's cold. Them old niggas be running that shit, bro, them cold beats and all of that. Like, we having it, and they be rap singing, but the shit fire, bro, you know what I'm saying? But it hit in the speakers when you jamming. Oh, my goodness, bro. If you love music, you can't help but understand what I'm saying. And so, in rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really too many niggas that understand that shit. They be trying to run it from a microphone standpoint, They might try to get, them little, Fruity Loop beats and shit, man, you know what I'm saying? That sound good with a little 808 and shit into it. That's as much as they care. But I'm talking about music, man. I'm talking about sounds and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Instruments and shit like that. Or how you vibing and shit as you going, man, and shit, man. That shit make a tape sound good. That make a party go fat. A whole different type of style of party and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, that Rowdy shit, bro, like, you can't go to, you can't listen to too much trap and shit. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't musical enough with me, man. Like, after I done heard 3 songs and all of them different multi-pitch 8s, like, it take away from everything else that I hear. It's just like a whole bunch of fucking bass and, no melodics to it. So, that's just my opinion. When I say it's a different texturization and slab shit, you know what I'm saying? Riding slab, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what they called it. I don't know what the fuck you call it. And I ain't saying that I produce like slab. I said, like, that texturization of sound, like, man, a good sound, and you know what I'm saying? That's why I say, like, with Big and them, bro, like, Big and them was coming from New York and them, but they kind of knew, that they was listening to them UGK records, man. That's how they was producing that shit that was like walking a yellow line, like they had a little bit of something, everybody liked it. And that was part of it. Like, Biggie shit hit good in the car. I don't give a fuck how nigga talk, like, Biggie almost sound better in the car than Pac. Pac got selective songs that sound good in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, we listen to Pac on TV. That's what I'm talking about. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, with Biggie, you know what I'm saying? You could kind of like, nigga, you could ride the Biggie. Like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come through that bitch feeling Biggie, nigga, you ride it. I done rode on Biggie, nigga, I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, nigga, you riding the Biggie, you coming, I don't give a fuck what you riding. You pull up in something right now, 2029, whatever the fuck. Boy, you pumping the right Biggie joint, that bitch go blink. And that's what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the East Coast edition of shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say it, I ain't gonna say I hate to say it, bro, but keeping it all the way 1,000. Hey, bro, that motherfucking, see that fucking, BG, Cash Money is an army? Oh, my God, bro. That bitch hit, and that's 2 different types of things. That's why I brought it up. because the way that bitch hit and some sounds and how big that nigga sounded, that bitch BG sound like he's supposed to live a million years because of that song, bro, to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't die because of that song, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as I'm concerned, that bitch the biggest shit in the world. But that's just my opinion about, like, how it's supposed to sound and sounds. You know what I'm saying? And so when I make my music and shit, man, you know, I got big records in my mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe it sound basic to you or, you know, not that impressive and shit. You know, it's all for the tape, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what it's about. Like, you know, 10 for 10. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, like, can you make 10 joints in a row that's going to hit at a 10? You know what I'm saying? That's the 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, 10 aside. You know what I'm talking about? 10 songs aside on the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you got to make a nigga listen at the whole tape. No fast forward. You know what I'm saying? All rewind if it's going to be anything. You know what I'm saying? But no fast forward. And that's the whole point. It's hard to, I don't give a fuck who you is, nigga, to make a tape and you nigga don't fast forward your shit. You know what I'm talking about? So you gotta have some G with you, nigga, to get from the walk to waters, you know what I'm saying? Border to border. That's that 1,000 block shit, nigga. When you done 10 tapes like that, you know what I'm saying? You can rep that Thou Wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Your legacy staying 10 like a better. Oh man, you for real. Cause it take 10 for 10, man, you know what I'm saying? Take two sides, man. You gotta make, you know, multiple complete tapes. And then you make 10 tapes, you a master. I ain't made 10 tapes yet. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep saying what I'm saying, how the game is. I'm still on the bitch mastering, making 10 tapes. So, you know, when I be talking that big dog shit, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like the nigga who got the game to do that type of shit. You know what I'm talking about? I don't give a fuck what you know, who it is, you know, your catalog got to be up like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially, you know what I'm saying, to do it the Thou Wild way, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing that shit with my own joints, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the game 30 years, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could mix my own shit. That's what I'm doing. Still building, still working. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I be saying, man. You know, like, that 100% music is a lifestyle for me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my opinion, everybody else's opinion is different. They like music. I love music. It's a difference. You know? Whatever you do, you got to do something that you love, man, because you're going to labor for it. That's the whole point. You know, it ain't just the sound good shit that I'm busting. You know what I'm saying? It's the real shit. You know? If you like it, bro, you know what I'm saying? You know, you ain't going to go but so far with it. But if you love it, then you're gonna go the whole 9 yards, bro. And that's what make it all worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, at my age, bro, I'm glad to have something that I was involved with that I could still do. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, man, you know, we watching LeBron, great as he is, man. You know, at one of these times coming up soon, he know it. He gonna be lacing his wheels up. He gonna have to do something different. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be shooting at no 52. You know what I'm talking about? Mayweather ain't swinging no motherfucking dogs at 52. You know what I'm saying? Ali, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't scrapping at 52. But you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know, like, it all depends on what you built to be. At 52, nigga, I'm still lacing up. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? If you got it, you got it, bro. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying. And so, like, you know, when I be saying like that, you know, I'm in my own league, in my own lane and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could put me in whatever category, you know, makes sense to them. But far as for me, I'm in a category by myself, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't look to nobody else, man. Far as for, like, you know, why I do what I do, I'm inspired internally, man. You know, I'm inspired by, you know, the life and everything that's around me. That's why I'm showing y'all, like, where I'm at now. Like, look how where I'm at. Because I like to be in the middle of life, man. You dig? Yeah. Yeah. See what I'm talking about? I'm talking about that, that life shit. That's where I'm at, man. I'm in the real world, man. You know, little dude from Grover Street. You know what I'm talking about? 100% music, brother. You know what I'm saying? That was my way out. You know, that's how I changed my life. And I've been on a path, like 34, 35 years, you know what I'm saying? Constantly, having things to do, constantly being inspired, man, daily, man. I get up feeling invigorated, man, because, I'm on my course. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my time. It's a good thing, man, to do the right thing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, the people that I've been around, man, my grandfather and them and stuff like that, it made me see through so many, irrelevant things, man. They always focus on what was real, man. At the phase of life where he was at, he basically, when I started paying attention, he was basically where I'm at now. And to be focused on facts, man, like that's how he had me, man. Always my GPS, man, is gravitated to right here where I'm at. So, I don't have a far-fetched mind at all. I think in the terms of realistic shit, here or there. You got to really make them steps. You got to really make them moves, man, to understand, those experiences. You ain't going to get but so much from, an armchair understanding, man, and the people that's actually doing shit, they don't have the time to tell you, you know. So, it'd be kind of oxymoronic. The motherfuckers who will take the time to tell you don't really know what the fuck to tell you. And that's being honest, you know what I'm saying? But like me, I don't do this to convince nobody, man, right or wrong or whatever. I'm just letting you know my mindset. I'm just sharing my thoughts, my process, man. I feel like it can have some benefits to whoever trying to be inspired, man, to keep focused, man. Those who, within the range of my voice and my understanding, they can understand where I'm coming from with this shit. I only speak to those that can understand, and had the urge to understand. What it mean to to just have a subpar dream nobody could see but you. You know what I'm saying? And just keep believing, man. You know what I'm saying? Just the process of life, man. I always had to make lemonade out of lemons. See things from the point of view as it is. We should always look to see the better side of things rather than the worse side of things. I look at people benefit from me seeing the better side of them, rather than me looking at the side that everybody judge them from. I don't judge people, man. You know what I'm saying? I know what it feel like to be judged and mostly misjudged, you know. So because of that, what I'm saying, being a stigma in my life, man, in every phase, I don't want it to become a stigma and nobody else for me being judgmental, man. Like, like I don't hold people against people, man. I try to understand to the best of my ability. It's about being empathetic, not sympathetic, you know. Sometimes you gotta put your feet in somebody else's, footprint to understand what they looking at, man. Look at it from their side of the story. You know, the benefit of the doubt is what the old people used to call it. They'll say, man, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that, you know, anything is possible, man. You never know who you're talking to. You never know, what people conditions are. You can't assume because, how you feel or what your perspective is, it apply to other people, you know. So, that's what I'm saying, man, and I'm just sharing the fact that, with my time, what I do, man, you know what I'm saying, to be effective, my mindset, staying, committed to my cause and shit like that. Like people wouldn't understand and don't understand, like, man, why you do what you do, man. Because I learned how to live, man. Dealing with music, man. And I'd rather deal with the ups and downs of the education and the business and all of the facets of it rather than fight with my emotional life and my emotional distractions and detachments and shit. So, like, nah, man, give yourself a purpose. And I didn't have no purpose. And, like, that's just what I'm saying. Like, music gave me a purpose. It gave me a reason to pray to God. It gave me a reason to look forward. God started talking to me through the music, man. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, not all of the negativity that people gonna say, because in everything negative is something positive. And some things you could use, some things you can't. You go in the garden, you peel the leaves off of the fruit. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the bottom line, man. Like in everything that's perception, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And basically, this is what I'm saying. Like, I've been able to take what people consider trash and make an art out of it. And it's my particular brand of art. And, I call it certified music. I call it 100% music. I call it one double official. I call it one dub, because every level is different levels of knowledge that I obtain. One dub was a level of knowledge. Certified music was a level of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And it just kept going on and on and on. So it's a whole bunch of codes, in the terms of the time span, what I put together, when I put it together, and it provide receipts for my work ethic. Just being able to stay consistent at something, man. Like I forged 34 years to keep my hands around the fire, man, which is a lot longer than a lot of these dudes been alive, let alone be able to still maintain and elevate your status within a status. You know what I'm saying? This is not concreted, man. You know what I'm saying? This is me giving myself something to do, man. Something to create value, and not statistically, money wise, digitally wise. The investment in it is well worth the time I put into it. You know, as everybody can see, man, everybody's into the audio phase of it. The audio world has came up, man. So, it's about blending the conversation and the cameras together now. You know what I'm saying? The music is, the goal of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need music. Music is more important than it ever been. And that's why my whole point with trying to inspire the kids, man, understand music just from not the level that you interested in, but know it's a world that's way bigger than that in a positive way. It's all kinds of education that's around music. It's the number one curriculum on the planet. And, for whatever reason, the magic in it overshadowed the facts about it, that it's something that intelligence at its highest peak, man. You know what I'm saying? The people that had the ability to understand music, not just hear it and feel it, but the people that manipulated or produce it and manufacture it and stuff, man. You're dealing with the people, some of the most intelligent people that God ever created. And me saying that, I'm understanding that I am one of those people. And so, that's the whole point of being heard by my people, man, because I come from this community, man, that had the ability to understand, intellectual properties and shit like that. And people who speak my language don't have that type of comprehension. And so, so is, quote unquote. But my point is saying that just through music, just being inquisitive about music, if you're truly inquisitive about music, if you're truly inquisitive about an instrument, you have a passion for an instrument, that instrument gonna open you up to a whole world of education, man, that's gonna take you into places and dimensions that you wouldn't even imagine, just following the path of that instrument. And it's a spiritual thing. So, when people say, things is evil and stuff like that, everything is evil. Everybody is evil. But it all is going to work to the greater the good. So, the point about it is, imagine if you're using the greater the good to work with, as you moving forward, how much you can get achieved instead of being manipulated to think, being yourself is evil. It's just life, man. That's what I'm saying. It don't get no realer than being a musician. 100% music. Ryan Gray. Hey, mic check 1 2 1 2. What it do, nigga? Hey, yeah. Who that nigga out the cut in the light of broad day?